Welcome back to Forex Friend for another video. I hope you had a good week, and today we're talking about Forex and horse racing. Now, it seems a strange kind of combination. So, in what way is succeeding in Forex like winning a horse race? What do you think? Do you think there's any similarity? Well, I think there is, and look at it this way. If you're a racehorse owner, and you want to win races, you need two things, I think. You need a great jockey, and you need a great horse. And in Forex, you need to be a good trader, but even more important, you need to have a good Forex pair that you're using. Not all Forex pairs and financial instruments are in the right condition to trade. Sometimes your horse is not feeling so good and he's just lying down, doesn't want to race. So, you've got to have the right Forex pair to be trading. It's no good being a great jockey if you have a bad horse. I think probably an average jockey might still win a race if he had a really great horse. But I'm pretty sure a great jockey will never win on a very average horse, or a horse that's not feeling good. That horse has got to have a lot of energy. It's got to be heading in the right direction. And it's like that with trading Forex pairs. You need to be using a Forex pair that's going in the right direction and that's really moving. So, let's have a look at some illustrations of this using some actual Forex pairs. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the Euro-Pound 1 hour chart and use it as an illustration of what I'm talking about. I like to use the 1 hour chart because the 1 hour charts tend to be fairly reliable. If you've got trend or non-trend on a 1 hour chart, it tends to last for quite a few days. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's have a look, see if I can bring it up. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, here we are. Now, here we have the Euro-Pound 1 hour chart, and you can see over here, this was roughly the 12th of September, and this went through until, 16th of September, so it was a few days. And you can see that the 50 EMA is very flat, along with the 10 EMA, both very flat. So you can see from that there's very little happening on this pair. So it's not really something it's not a horse you want to ride, because it's feeling very sleepy and doesn't want to go into any horse racing at the moment. So, you wouldn't want to look for any kind of trade while this particular pair was like that. But then suddenly, what you find is that it breaks out. Now, it's interesting to know that if we look at the time frame, it was 10 o'clock London time in the morning. So for several days, nothing really happened. And then suddenly on the, what was it? It was the 16th of September at 10 o'clock in the morning. Something happened. Now you can tell something's happening because the 10 EMA suddenly lifts up because price has suddenly shot up. And then it comes back to the 10 EMA. But here is where you want to start looking for trades. Now, it's not always possible to find a good signal on an hourly chart. But what you can do is you can go into the 5-minute chart or the 15-minute chart and look for signals there. But let's move on a bit. Let's go a few days later, and here we have on the 18th, price has gone up suddenly here, come back to the 50 EMA on the hourly, which is a fairly reliable place to look for trades. And the green, the 10 EMA and the 50 EMA are all heading up. So now you know that something's happening. This horse is back in the race. So you want to climb on it and hope you can win the race. All right. Okay, so now we've seen that the price has gone up here, right? Suddenly shot up, come back down to the 50 EMA. And this is a great place to look for long trades on the shorter time frame, because it's much easier to find signals on the short time frames than it is on the 1 hour time frame. So maybe what we should do is we should go in here and look at the 18th on the 5-minute chart. So let's do that. Let's go back to the that's a month ago. So give me a moment and I'll bring that up. Okay, so now I've eventually found that place on the 5-minute chart. And here we are. So that place I was showing you on the 1 hour chart, where it was on the 50 EMA, we are now into the 5-minute chart. And this is what it looks like on the 5-minute chart, completely different, right? But we know from looking at the 1 hour chart, that round about here is your 50 EMA that it came back to. So now we're looking for a nice signal on the 5-minute chart to go to buy, not to sell, obviously, because we know that on the longer term, we're in a nice uptrend. So let's have a look here. Well, this is at 8 o'clock London time, nothing much happening. Went up a bit, came down, but I don't see any real kind of really great signal telling me that price is ready to go up from the hourly 50 EMA. Nothing here really. Goes up, comes down, goes down a bit. But then suddenly at what time is it? It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, London time. And that's pretty much when the New York market opens as well. So now you've got the London market and you've got the New York market joining together to trade, and that's usually when you find some pretty good trades. And so here we have a very strong 5-minute signal. It's what we call a pin engulfing, and it has engulfed a whole bunch of signals there. So you know that that's going to go a long way because it's a very big candle compared to the previous candles. So shoots up. Okay, now you might have missed it. You might, because it's a 5-minute candle, you might have gone off to have some coffee or some shopping or something, and you come back an hour later and you see this, but that's fine. Because what's happened is it's come back down just like it did on the hourly, it's come back on the 5-minute. And you know that we're in a strong uptrend on the hourly, so there's no way it's going to go back down. You could put your stop loss in there. You could put a trade in here for a long trade, and you could, let's say you chose to risk, $10, $100, $1,000. Here would be your risk area here. So you would make that equal to what, $10? And because you're in an hourly uptrend, you know that this is going to go quite a long way. So let's have a look. And let's put some lines in here. Okay, so there's your stop loss there. And here's your entry point here. So that represents, say, $10 or $100. Now, when price has gone up, okay, we've got a bit of a problem here. Let me put on hold for a moment, and I'll come back to that. Okay, right, I'm back. Something went wrong with my chart. Now, here we are. There's our stop loss place there. There's our entry place there. So that represents, say, $10 or whatever you want to make it. And you can see that you've made another $10 here. Now, are we going to stay in it? Are we going to stay in the trade? Are we going to go out? Well, if you look at it here, the time is 7 o'clock London time. Now, the New York market is still moving, but the London market is gone to sleep. They've all gone home, gone to the pub. And you can see that what's happening here is that the 10 EMA has flattened out. It's gone flat. So I wouldn't keep it overnight. I would just cash in here, which is probably $12, $13 profit. But it's a very, very certain profit. I mean, there's virtually no ways that this price is going to revert back and go down again quickly. So that is a way to use the 1 hourly to make a good profit. All right, let's have a look at another one. Okay, now let's go back to the hourly. And we were on the 5 minute, we were around about here. And we decided to get out there, or round about there. But you can see actually that it still went a long, long way. Could have kept in that trade for several days. And if this was your stop loss area here, your risk, and this was $10, you could see that actually you could have actually kept going and made $20, $30. Okay, so let's move on a little bit and let's go here. Now we're talking about a Forex pair like a racehorse, right? So, and I said you want to be on a horse that's really moving. Now you can see from the shape of the 50 EMA here, and especially the 10 EMA, that we're in a nice uptrend. This thing's moving. The horse is racing and it's going well. So you can look for trades, entry places on the 5 minute chart. Here would be a good one. Now, what time is that? Let's have a look at that. That's 11 o'clock London time. So in the morning, London time, you tend to get some very nice signals, very nice entry places. So you, with these 3 pins here, there's a very good indicator that price is going to continue going up. So if you've gone into the 5 minute, you could have looked for a good place to enter. A nice signal on the 5 minute and made some profit there. And then once again there, you could have entered when it came back to the green line there. You could have looked for a 5 minute signal and made some more profit there. Because this is an hourly chart, so it doesn't look very much. It doesn't look pretty good, but let's have a look and see how many pips there was. If you'd gone in like there, the price is 717. And if you'd taken it out there, 728, there's 10 pips. There's nothing wrong with 10 pips. You can do a lot with 10 pips. Okay, so let's move on a little bit and have a look here. Now, here the horse is really jumping around. You can see all over here. It's not moving in a nice, smooth way, but it's still a great one to trade because you've got, this is a show jump. This isn't a horse race, this is a show jump. And wow, it's jumping around pretty well, jumping really over those hurdles. I think this one's going to win the gold medal. for horse jumping or show jumping. I mean, look at this here, and look at this one here. I mean, if you'd looked at the 5-minute chart here for a good entry place, you could well have found one and gone all the way up there. Here's another great signal. And if you'd gone in on 5 minutes and looked for a signal around about here, you could have made a lot of, gone a long distance there. Look at this one here. I mean, if you'd looked for a 5-minute setup here and waited for a good signal, you could have gone a long, long way. So this is not a horse, this is not a racehorse, this is a show jump. But still, you've got these wonderful big candles showing you that there's a lot of volatility, and if you're careful, look at this one here, for instance. That's a wonderful signal telling us that price is going to go up. So even though the 50 EMA is flat, you've got some very big candles. So you've either got to have a 50 EMA that's moving up or down, or you've got to have it flat with some very big candles oscillating around it. So you can see it's oscillating around the 50 EMA. Goes down, comes all the way up, goes down again, goes up here, back down, up again, and but the candles are big. So it shows you that there's still a lot of volatility in this pair. Okay, so let's go and have a look over here. Now we see that the 50 EMA is coming down very strongly, which tells us that we're in a strong downtrend. And you could wait for price to come back to the green line here and look for 5-minute signals here. And you know that we're in a strong downtrend, so you can confidently trade a 5-minute chart on a short, what we call short, in other words, sell. You could look for a short sell here on the 5-minute chart there, or the 15-minute chart. So here we've got a horse that's got lots of energy. So you'll find that the euro pound is a great one to trade, great one to look for places on the shorter time frames to trade. Okay, let's take a quick break. Okay, I see we're up to 20 minutes now, so you're probably want to go and have a cup of coffee or something. Let's just look at one more. I'm going to go into the Euro New Zealand, and we'll have a look at that one. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Euro New Zealand, and you'll see over here that for a couple of days, nothing was happening. It was completely flat. Now, when you see something like this with very small candles, very flat. Remember, the euro pound was also very flat, but it had these huge big candles jumping all around here. Here you've got nothing, so there's nothing much you can even do here. But what you can do, you can see that this has gone into, the horse is completely asleep here. You know, when it wakes up, it's going to have lots of energy and want to go horse racing again. So you see what happened here. Let's see what time that was. That was 5 o'clock London time. Now that's pretty much when the New Zealand markets are starting to wake up, because remember, they're on the other side of the world, and so their timing is different to London. And here what happened is it shot up, and you might have missed that. I mean, you could have gone and you could have looked for a 5-minute trade there, and it's come back to the 50 EMA again, which is what they love doing, these charts. They love coming back, breaking out and coming back to the 50 EMA. So you could have looked for a 5-minute signal there if you were awake. I mean, that was pretty much 8 o'clock London time. And you can see here that, we've got small candles, but a lot of movement. which is still fine. Here, everything's flat. Your 20, the blue line is your 20 EMA, and your green line, your 10 EMA, is completely flat. The candles are small. Your chart is flat. So, there's not much opportunity here to do any trading. So the horse is asleep again. He's not doing any show jumping, and he's not doing any horse racing, okay? And then later on, price goes asleep there, and you know that it's going to break out soon. So you keep watching it. And sure enough, suddenly it breaks out. Breaks out what time? Let's have a look at the time. It's 4 o'clock London afternoon. The New York market is still strong, because 1600 hours London time is about 10 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the morning New York time, when the New York market has just opened up. And so, yes, look at this. So you can be looking for long trades on the 5-minute charts here, because the horse is up and running again. So you want to stay away from a chart where the horse is asleep, and look for entry points on shorter time frame when the horse is jumping around and racing off. Well, I hope you found that helpful and informative, and will help you to do better trading in the future. If you liked it and it was helpful, please push the like button and subscribe, because you know that the Google algorithms, they look for likes, they look for people who subscribe, but also they look for people who make comments. So please, it would help our channel if you make lots of comments and ask questions, make your comments. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Just you can say you disagree, or you do agree, or you like it, or you don't like it. But make some comments, because it does help the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All the best in the meantime. Bye for now.